Can you describe your PA school journey, how you got there, why you decided to be a PA, and if you're comfortable sharing some of your stats, GPA, PCE, all of that good stuff?
Yeah, so I graduated high school in 2019, and honestly, high school was a period where I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I honestly didn't even consider college at one point since I truly didn't care much about my grades or my classes. If I'm being honest, I was kind of lost and just didn't know what I wanted to do at all. But I knew I had some sort of interest in medicine. And then I graduated high school and then enrolled in a 19-day EMT course just to see if this is something that I want to continue doing. So after I finished that program, I started looking for jobs and immediately started working as an EMT. And I honestly fell in love with the job and even the schooling itself. I feel during high school, you take all these classes and it's not something that you're interested in. So it was really hard for me to enjoy it. But that's where I found that that's what I want to continue exploring. And then I actually enrolled at a community college just to give myself another chance at being a good student, because I honestly that really didn't occur to me much in high school. I did sports in high school and then got a really bad concussion from it, and then being a first gen college student as well, I feel there's just always this pressure that came with that. And so it just, I don't know, I just kind of was all over the place, if I'm being honest, and didn't know how to navigate that.
Two very important questions. I'm just very curious. One, what was your high school GPA?
My high school GPA was what was it? It's a 3.2.
Okay, so not tragic. You weren't the kid
Yeah.
sitting in the back of the class playing calculator games. That was me. But you were middle of the road, definitely not getting into an Ivy League, not the kid that everyone thought would get into med school or even grad school. Just kind of middle of the road, pretty average. And
Yeah.
of course, you had to fix that in order to get into PA school. And then
Mhm.
also, what sport did you play?
I did track and cross country, and then where I got the concussion was when I decided to try rugby my junior year.
I was wondering, how do you get a concussion running cross country? Do you fall off a bridge or something, just head first?
Mhm.
Oh man, rugby.
Yep.
You
Yep.
seem like someone who just gets an idea into their head, even something kind of crazy, and you just go for it.
Oh, yep, that's exactly me. That's exactly when I was applying to PA school too. It was out of impulse, just as the same thing as the EMT program.
Cool. And then the other thing is, you said you're a first generation college student.
That's right. They immigrated from Vietnam. And so my parents did, yeah, immigrate, and they came to the States when they were pretty young, when they were a teenager.
But so you're a first generation American, first generation college student. So do you feel you kind of had to figure it all out yourself? Because your parents weren't college students in America. They didn't know how to do everything, how to navigate it.
Yeah, so I definitely felt the pressure to do well, exceptionally well. I felt because of that, it pushed me away from wanting to succeed in high school.
So you grew up with your dad saying, you need good grades. But then when you asked him how, he'd be like, I don't know, figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that when I started at the community college, then I feel that time of the 2 years at the community college, I was able to truly grow so much, and I don't know what how my path would have looked if I just decided to go to a 4-year college, since also the financial aspect of too, you save so much money. And yeah, I'm really blessed to have had that opportunity to do that
Yeah.
first.
But so, okay, so you went to community college for 2 years, and then you
Mhm.
transferred into a 4-year college?
I did, yeah, and it was actually my dream school. Like growing up, I always thought of UNC Chapel Hill as my dream school,
Mm-hmm.
and I just heard all about it, and it's good for medicine too. So I was this is where I wanted to go, but it just felt impossible during high school just because I wasn't at a point that you know, what they were like looking for, what it
Something
is.
a lot of people don't think about. So like saving an absolute enormous amount of money because UNC Chapel Hill and like most, four-year colleges are more expensive than community college. So that's an option I wish more people would consider.
Yeah. Honestly, like when I went into community college, I thought like I was just so ashamed of it just because like
Yeah,
that was just like the stigma, I guess, around community college. It's just you assume that that's like your only option or like you didn't get into like any other colleges, but looking
right.
back, I highly recommend that to anyone.
But no, so that's really awesome. I'm really glad you found success in community college. And so just kind of rewinding, you always had an inkling towards medicine for some reason, you just didn't know why.
I yeah, I mean I like my personal statement I talked about like a time where I was like a hostess at a restaurant, a Chinese restaurant,
Remember that?
and I happened to see someone like go into cardiac arrest, and then there happened to be like some like healthcare workers who were just dining in that one night, and they resuscitated the patient, and then like the EMTs, paramedics brought the patient out, and they were like fine and conscious, and I was like, whoa, like that's crazy. Like I was just so intrigued by like
Mhm.
how that one action of like just being on someone's chest. Like this was when I was in probably like freshman year of high school.
Mhm.
And I saw that and I was just like trying to snoop and look at the booth where it happened. I was just like so curious.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably kind of a traumatizing experience at first too,
Yeah, it was scary because I was like, oh
A
my gosh.
massive like negative emotional spike, and then they come back and
Yeah,
it's this like huge positive emotional spike, and you're like, how did this happen? This is magic.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
insane.
awesome. So that's how you got into medicine, is like that one story.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And then that's where I was like initially pre-med in like my first year probably of community college. I was like, I want to go to medical school.
Hmm.
And I like didn't know about like the PA profession initially
Hmm.
until I like just looked it up, like other options that I had just to work in healthcare. But
Hmm.
I felt like the PA profession like aligned with what I wanted like better since you're still practicing like medicine, but just like in a shorter time frame. And I really liked how you can like switch specialties or like work in like all aspects of medicine.
Hmm. So is that what you focused your essay on, like that first event, and then like why specifically PA? It's like the shorter training and also the lateral mobility.
Right. Yeah. And then I also talked a little bit about of like because I did some like medical mission trips to Guatemala and Costa Rica, and I worked closely with like the physicians there, and then got a lot of time like talking to patients, and I really enjoyed just getting to know them and like hearing their stories and like their upbringings, and I felt like that would better align with like the physician assistant route.
Okay, so we talked about how you got into medicine in general, then what you did, your journey to undergrad, and then you were just like way more motivated and way better at studying after your time in community college. But so numbers wise, so high school 3.2,
Yeah.
community college, what was your GPA coming out of there?
It was a 3.9.
Okay, so
Yeah.
3.9, almost 4.0, like you did very well in community college. And then you go into Chapel Hill, four-year university. How well do
Yeah.
you do there?
So I applied with a 3.9 as well.
What do you mean,
And
like
this
out of Chapel Hill?
was, yeah,
Also, you just kept going at that like 3.9 level once you transferred.
yeah,
And did you get in your first time?
I did.
Oh, holy crap, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh man, congrats. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got in on your first try so you applied as a junior,
I did.
right? A rising senior. So after only completing 1 year of university,
Right.
2 years of community college, you got in on your first try.
Did.
How many
Yeah.
PA schools did you apply to?
I applied to three.
Three.
Um,
That's it.
yeah, so it was honestly like out of impulse, like I said, because
Mhm.
I wasn't planning on applying till after I graduated since I haven't taken the GRE
Sure.
and I haven't taken a lot of like the prereqs too.
Mhm.
So one day I was just like, let me see if this is even possible for me to apply. And so I found those like three programs that I could. So that's where I ended up applying to.